story is not just about snowboarding and injury. It's about his resilience and identity. And as every athlete in this room, you know you have choices of chasing your dreams. So with that, let's welcome Kevin Pearce. Thank you.
How sick is this? What's up, guys? I'm so psyched to be here. That movie was made like 14 years ago, and when you hurt these things up here, it takes a long time to get better. And now it happened in 2010 and 2024, 2025, 15 years. It's been a long time, and I'm doing so good. I'm so psyched to be here. And all these guys told me it would be okay if I started my presentation with this, so let's try this out. Falling. Oh, come on, you behave. That's me. That little dude down front, that's me. That's my brother David, that's my brother Adam, and that's Andrew. So I grew up with 3 older brothers, and that was me with my first snowboard, right? I was stoked. I got my first board super young, and it was way too big for me, but I was like, I got a board. I was like, my older brothers were riding. I was like, I gotta start riding. And then I met this guy. Any of you guys know Sean White? Yeah, that's Sean. That's me and Sean way back in the day. And me and Sean had this friendship of like, we became really close friends. And that was crazy to me because Sean was always this kid that was like so much better than me, right? You guys are here, you guys are skiing, you guys are riding, and you guys are like looking up to these guys who are like so much better than you. And you're like trying to get to that place of like becoming that good. Like you want to become the best. Like that's why we do it, is to become the best. And I was like, gosh, Sean is so much better than me. I don't know how I'll ever get to that place. And, you know, I just dug deep, and I just worked, and I did everything I could. You know, it wasn't that he was in California and I was in Vermont. It was no excuses. It was do what I can do to get to his level. And there was nothing that was gonna hold me back from that. And it didn't matter how much better he was and how far behind I was, and that he had better conditions, and I could have made up all the excuses. He has California, he gets to go to Mammoth, he gets to ride the good parts, he gets to do this, he gets to do this. I'm in Vermont, you know, it's icy, it's cold, there's no half pipes. And I didn't let any of that get in my way. And I just worked, and I worked, and I worked. And then I started beating him. I started beating this kid that was like my idol. Up there in the middle, I'm in Japan, I'm over in Europe, I was in Norway, kind of traveling around the world, and like I kept beating him. And he didn't like that. Sean doesn't like getting beat. Sean likes winning, and if he's not winning, he's not psyched, right? So it's like he was not that psyched that I started beating him. And I was like, all right, now I know I can compete with the best. Now I have this dream. And my full focus and everything that mattered to me was getting to these Olympics. I put everything into it. We had this half pipe built for us in California, out in Mammoth. Nike, one of my sponsors at the time, who like fully supported me. Obviously, they built me this half pipe. And Sean had the same half pipe built for him by Red Bull, except Sean was the only one to ride the half pipe. It was like just Sean, no one else went to it. Whereas I got this half pipe built for me by Nike, and I invited all my homies, right? I invited all my friends. There was like 6 of us, me and like my best friends. And we were there in this half pipe, like trying double corks. Because at the time it was like, we want to learn how to do double corks. And like, I was like landing on my back and my head. I broke like 6 snowboards that day. Just like kept landing wrong. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is 2009. I was like, is this even possible? Like, no one was doing double corks in 2009. Like, we were like inventing this stuff, but like, I heard Sean had done it, and I was like, I want to go to the Olympics, and I'm gonna beat Sean. Like, I had this focus of like, this is what's gonna happen. And so I kept doing it, you know, I just like, I buckled down and I kept trying, and then, so that's all the boys up at the top of the half pipe. Like, that was the first time I did it. They're not screaming like that every time you do a trick. And it was like, it opened up this world of possibilities to us where it was like, oh my gosh, like double corks are now possible. Like, this can happen. Like, this is what we're gonna start doing. So that was a double McTwist. And I was like, I gotta learn how to do the cap double cork. And I was like, I got this trick. I kept doing it in the airbag again and again, right? And I was like, I gotta get this. And it was like,
hey.
Yes.
Yeah!
Oh, it was like right there. I was so close. I was like, I got this. I gotta get this trick. I knew Sean had a bunch of double corks, and I was like, I gotta at least have 2 of them. So I run back up. Oh, how bad does that look, right? That fall, like, that's the craziest thing about these sports that we're all doing right now. I don't want to scare you guys, because, like, that's not, like, you guys don't, like, that's not going to scare you right there. That fall, I broke my ankle. Like, how many of you guys have broken a bone? All right, so, like, most of you guys have broken a bone. Like, you break a bone, and it's pretty simple, right? You put in a cast, you wait a couple months, you go through the rehab. You don't really think about that bone again. That ankle of mine that was broken, I don't spend my days worrying about a broken bone. It's like, it heals and you get back to it. And it's like, it's pretty cool that you can just like go out and break a bone and heal it and get back. And like, then you're like better. And that was hard because Nike built me this half pipe, and they spent like tens of thousands of dollars on this private pipe for me, and then I couldn't even ride it. And so my buddies kept like, they were all up there like riding the pipe, and I like couldn't even walk because I had a broken ankle. And then my ankle healed, and
next rider.
This is kind of crazy. All right, so this is where things. Did you guys all watch that movie about me?
Yeah.
All right, so this is like the most important part of the story, because that movie is like super long and it like goes through my entire life. It was filmed by like 250 different people around the world. They got footage for that movie. And for some reason, they left this part of the story out. And for you guys, this is hands down, when you leave today, the most important thing. It's like, I don't care if you don't listen to me. I don't care if you don't pay attention to this, but just listen to this right here. It's gonna take like 2 or 3 minutes, and watch this. So this next clip is the first contest back after my broken ankle. And the first contest back was, sure enough, the Copper Grand Prix. I think they're still doing it. They still hold the Grand Prix down. Well, what do you guys snowboard? I know there's a bunch of skiers. These are my snowboarders. They still do the Copper Grand Prix, right? This is like, this run, so this is 2010, 15 years ago. My first run back after the broken ankle and the first Olympic qualifier.
Next rider. And he is also one of the favorites, a former TTR world champion. This is Kevin Pearce getting ready to drop in, one of the original friends. Originally from Vermont, now calling Mammoth Lakes his home. And so the judges are going to be paying close attention to this next run. A lot of buzz going on about the Friends crew. And kind of unfortunate that 3 of them are in this, 4 of them have been in this first team. Getting down the old chicken wing McTwist. And a frontside 720. Oh man, tough break right he's okay.
Quits like a tribe does.
All right, he's okay, folks.
All right, so December 19th, I took that fall. And what you can't tell about that fall is that I got a really bad concussion on December 19th. How many of you guys in here have gotten concussions? Okay, so like just about every single one of you knows how I was feeling after that happened. When you have a concussion, I don't care how old you are or how young you are. That doesn't come into play right now. What comes into play is that you know exactly how you felt after that concussion if you've had one in this room. It's like kind of this like out of body experience where like you're like, you don't have any broken bones. Like it's not like you can't walk, but it's like you're not really there when you have a concussion. Like it's so hard for me to explain the best way of that feeling. One, because I haven't had a concussion in like 15 years. That traumatic brain injury, you better believe, is the last time I'll ever hit this head again. But I know exactly what I'm trying to explain, and every single one of you in this room that has hit their head knows what I'm trying to explain right now. That feeling of like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like, does anyone know it? It's like, you don't know, it's like you're fine, but at the same time, it's like something is so, you're like dizzy, and like your world is just like upside down, and like you're not really with it, and like discombobulated completely in like the weirdest way ever. And that's how I was feeling after that. I was like totally out of it. Like I knew I had a bad concussion. And so they went through it, right? Then like another 20 riders drop, maybe like 15 or 20 minutes go by, and then it's my time to take my second run. And it's still best of two, right? So it's like, if you fall on your first run, you gotta get back up there and take your second run so you can get one good run in. 20 minutes later, I went up to the top of the pipe and I did this.
This guy has won the overall TTR World Championship. And dropping in right now, this is Kevin Pearce. Start things out with a twist. Frontside 1080. And playing a conservative right there, hawk and flip. Frontside 900. There's the mandatory straight air, one hit left 4. Mr. Mason Aguirre, frontside 540. I mean, not Mason Aguirre, that is Kevin Pearce.
Right, so you better believe, after I broke that ankle, I didn't walk back up to that pipe and take another run. But after I got a severe concussion, my brain let me walk back up there and believe that I should do another run. And now, I didn't make finals the next day, and I'm super grateful for that, because the next morning, I remember it like it was yesterday. That was like, 15 years ago, and I remember it like yesterday. I woke up that next morning feeling super sick, super dizzy, all the symptoms that you get from a concussion. And I was so focused. I had such this drive that and this is like what I just urge you guys to learn from me right here, is that you listen to these coaches. You listen to the people that are older than you. You listen to the people that are smarter than you. Trust me, when I was your age, I thought I was the smartest person in the room, and nobody was going to tell me what to do. And so that's why just December 19th until a week and a half later, that's why the result. That fall's not that bad. When I broke my ankle, all of you were like, oh, you guys watch that fall, and it's like, whatever. But it's because I was already concussed. Your brain can't take that twice. Think about breaking your ankle and then going and breaking it again. Your brain is able to tell you that your ankle is broken. Your brain's not able to tell you that your brain is broken all the time, okay? And so yeah, it's my fault that I didn't stop riding and I didn't listen to the people, but at the same time, I felt fine. I felt like I could be training, and I didn't get the first result, and I needed a result, and so I was up there doing it, and I was like, I'm gonna get this. And that's why it was so bad so quickly. It wasn't the fact that it was the fall. It was the fact that I hit my head twice that close in time. And so like, there's no excuse. You guys are gonna get concussions. That's part of what we do. That's part of this world. And when you do it, you have to listen to the people. And I don't like telling you what to do. You know, I don't want to be up here like lecturing you guys, because I hated teachers telling me what to do. I'm like super dyslexic, I hated school. This was my happy place. And they were telling me I couldn't do what I loved most. And I was like, screw that. And now, because I didn't listen to them, my career got cut really, really short. And it was bad, like you guys saw. It was bad quick. And it's like, I was like that for, you know, the next how long? And then I started getting better because I took that focus that I had from snowboarding, that crazy focus where all that mattered to me was snowboarding. You know, that was my life. That's all I wanted. That's all I did. I hated school. I wasn't good at school because I'm dyslexic. And I had this opportunity, you know, to do this, like this to be my life. And I took that, and then it was like, okay, life has thrown me a curveball. And now snowboarding's not gonna be it. You know, skiing's not gonna be what I do, and I need to find something new. And I need to take that focus, and I need to heal this thing that I hurt so badly. In these, the ants. Think about the ants, the automatic negative thoughts. So this is kind of confusing, but it's kind of simple. You guys don't need to read this, I'll explain it to you. It's simple. Every time you have a thought, it creates a chemical reaction in your brain. And if you think about it, the good thoughts, you feel good. And the bad thoughts, you feel bad. Oh, I'm so stupid, I suck at speaking, these kids don't like me. You don't feel good after you say that stuff. What about these kids are stoked, like they're all into it, like everyone's watching me. That's gonna make you better. That's gonna allow these neurons and these different pathways in your brain to fire. So think about that throughout your days when you go around and you're telling your friends, oh, you're such an idiot, or you suck at school, or you did shitty on that test. Think about flipping that. Think about just trying to bring a little bit more positivity into your life. Again, I'm not up here to lecture you. I'm not up here to tell you what to do, but just like, think about that. And you might be like, no, I like being mean. I like being an asshole. I like being the mean kid. That's like, I'm sorry, that's not the cool thing to do. It's not cool to put yourself down or to put other people down. Try to just bring a little bit of positivity into your world, all right? Because that is what is best for this thing, this control system up here that allows everything. This is a SPECT scan that shows how much more activity there is in your brain with grateful versus negative thoughts. Now this is my life. This is my wife. I have these 3 super cute babies. I don't know why that's in here, but we don't need to talk about babies right now. I don't know who put that in there. It's like, why did my wife do that? Check this slide out though. The scan on the left is pretty gnarly. That was like a couple weeks, that's a couple months after the injury. And then the scan on the right is like a couple months ago. And it's this scan called a SPECT scan. And if the lights were off, you could see the brain is like way smoothed out. And what they always used to think is that the brain that you have is the brain that you're left with. And the brain doesn't change. And this right here is proof that if you care, stop and do. All right? Take those 3 things away today. Care for this thing, because it's the most important part of your body. Stop doing all the bad things that don't make you better, and do all the stuff that's good for you. I'm not a teacher, I'm not lecturing you, but I'm telling you what to do, okay? So take it like that. I'm not your teacher. Check this out. If you guys, if you look at me, if you look in the mirror tonight and you look at your pupils are the same exact size. But because of my brain injury, I have one big pupil and I have one small pupil. And I had this crazy double vision for like 12 years of my life that I live with like, there was like fully 2 people at all times. The world was doubled because of the brain injury. And then I did these crazy amount of eye exercises, this crazy amount of training in this thing called a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, have you guys heard of the hyperbaric? So you go and you sit in it for like 2 hours a day and it just like fills you up with oxygen. And I went and did it, and this was before I did it, and that was after I did it. And it's like now I can see you guys like perfectly. Like, I have no double vision anymore. Like, all right, I have a little double vision when I go like that. Like, now it's all double. So don't put your head up, Kevin, because that doesn't feel good. But when I look at you like this, we're good. So, like, that's you. And now, I keep like talking about how old that movie is, and it's like so exciting because I'm doing a new feature film is being made on me with Jaden Smith, who's Will Smith's son. He loves snowboarding. He like goes to Mammoth with his family every year, and he's like super excited to be in this film. Have any of you guys heard of Steve Aoki? Steve Aoki's like that crazy DJ, right? He loves snowboarding too. I went on a trip with him to Aspen a couple of years ago, and he's gonna be in the new movie. And so like, the new movie's gonna be called Pipe Dreams. And so it's gonna be like a glorified Hollywood story of what happened to me. So there's some cool stuff coming up there with that. And then the new documentary is gonna be like a follow-up to the crash reel, so you're gonna have some fresh stuff there. And like, I think the coolest thing, because I can't like ride pipes anymore, and I don't go in the park, and like, so like I've had to find this, so it's like I can still do like kind of pretty cool tricks in the snow and the powder, because that's my happy place now, and what I love doing the most. So it's like you gotta figure out life. You're all gonna deal with stuff. I know you feel old, but you guys are young. I know you guys think that you know everything, but like you got a lot to learn. And you're all gonna deal with stuff. That's part of life, is we all face challenges. And it's not about the challenges that you guys face, it's about how you deal with them. Because this is like the worst thing I could have ever imagined happening to me, having a career-ending injury that left me. And it could have been, oh, poor me, poor Kevin, oh, I can't compete anymore, oh, I can't do the X Games, oh, I can't beat Shaun White, oh, I can't do this, I can't. Or I could have flipped that around and like I did and said that this is my life and I gotta figure out how I can make the most of this new life that I have now. And no, it's not what I had. It's not making all this money from all these sponsors and getting to travel around the world. Instead, it's doing new stuff, and it's doing new ways of finding new ways. Having a family, which is like crazy, and like, it's like so awesome. And starting this foundation, the Love Your Brain Foundation, with my brother, and I've talked a bit about it, but of loving these things. And it starts with what you eat. It starts with how you exercise. You guys are all in good shape because you guys are exercising. That's not because you're lucky. That's not just because you guys are just like these miracle kids. It's like you gotta be active. You gotta eat the healthy foods. You gotta be smart. You're young. You like to do crazy stuff. I loved doing crazy stuff when I was your age. It's like, how far can I push it? And I get that, but be smart. Make smart choices. Listen to your teachers. Listen to your coaches, because they know more than you. You might think that you know everything. I thought I knew everything, and look at how I ended. And it's like, you don't need to be put in your place to learn. What you need to do to learn is you need to listen. And it's hard to listen when you think you know. Because it's like, screw you, I know. But it's like, do you really know? Or do you need to listen a little bit? So just think about that when you leave here. I gave you guys a lot of information. You guys have been super cool. You guys have really listened. I got some stickers, but they're Burton, so they're for the snowboarders. Any skiers like Burton, I got like 100 stickers, but I don't have any ski stuff, I'm sorry. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for listening to me rant to this rumble. It's not here to lecture you guys, to tell you what to do, just to give you a little bit of what's happened to me and how you can learn from this. That's what life's all about. It's all about learning and making the right decisions and being smart out there. You guys are awesome. You guys, I was up here for like an hour. Thank you so much.